Every Tuesday on my website, I post an inspirational Tuesday article. And in that article, I present an issue or a scenario, situation, and then towards the end, I throw in the deeper meaning and the moral value of the whole thing. And today, I want to kind of share with you that post in the verbal sense. And guys, tell me this doesn't look like winter is coming. Listen to the birds. It's probably just gonna rain, but look at the cool, like the wintry bite in the air. I'm gonna get real for a minute. I'm gonna tell you guys why I decided to start a YouTube channel. For 3 years, I have been a blogger. On my blog, I not only spoke about my journey and my emotional transition in life, I also wrote poetry and short stories and, random musings. The significance of every post that I designed wasn't just, just a story. There's always been a deeper meaning. There's always a moral value at the end. A little thought to leave you guys with for the day. And the reason I do that is because I used to stare out my window and see my dad standing underneath an apricot tree in our yard. And this apricot tree, he watered every day. If not every day, every other day. But he went out there every day and he spent a time frame alone, staring off into the sky, the scenery. And my ever-curious mind that I had, I wanted to know why. And the closer to teenageville I got, one day I walked out there and I asked him, "Dad, why do you stand out here every day?" "Why not?" "Okay. What do you mean, Dad?" "There's more to life than what's on TV, Mel." I say this sometimes in my blog. My dad told me underneath our apricot tree that there's more to life than what's on TV. And yeah, there is. Well, so my very first contemplative message, and it's so ever contemplative, I just couldn't let it go, Thought about it. I looked up, what does he mean by that? Why? My mind races. It raced many, many reasons why. But because of that very first time I heard something like that, it just gave me a more powerful desire to want to know more. Okay, now let's get to my point now. I don't know how many of you remember this TV show, how many of you guys remember that TV show? Boy Meets World. I used to tune into that TV series quite often. And back then, I didn't see it in the same light that I do now. But if you really think about it, Corey, the main character, he kind of makes a connection with his teacher, Mr. Feeney, and who is also his neighbor. But in this show, there's always some greater lesson that Mr. Feeney is teaching Corey, whether it be at school or in the classroom. So now, fast forwarding, they have a spin-off show. The spin-off show's main character is the daughter of Corey and Topanga. And in this show, as my dad shed pieces of wisdom at me, in the same light of those little pieces of wisdom that I got thrown, the idea of Girl Meets World has evolved from Boy Meets World. Okay, me, the parent, sitting behind my daughter, I'm watching her I'm right along, I'm pulling up the chair and I'm sitting with her, and I'm watching this episode with her. It starts off in the classroom, they're having a debate. In the classroom, they're debating, and Riley, the main character, haha, my son's name, I named him Riley before this show even existed, by the way, having a debate on whether or not the sun shines during the day. Naturally, Farkle, which is the son of Mingus, if any of you are familiar with this show, he wins the debate. You know, that the sun doesn't shine during the day. We see the sun shining in the day because that's when it shines where we're located. Something around that line. But I'm not going to get into too much detail because I don't want to say anything or quote anything wrong. But the point is, Riley lost the debate because her only reason for backing up that the sun shines during the day was because it's daytime and it's shining. The sun is shining. Corey says something: you cannot walk along in life without considering another's side of the argument. Okay, so consider every side of an argument before locking on. Corey says, now switch. He makes them switch sides because he wants to prove that you should be able to argue both sides of an argument. Okay, so that's where the little cute father-daughter spat occurs. My allergies are starting to flare. But then Corey says, new assignment. I want you guys to come to me with an argument, whether if people are naturally good or if people are naturally evil, bad. He assigns Riley, the ever so happy-go-lucky, hopeful, naive, perky, happy teenager, to prove that people are evil, while Farkle gets to prove that they are good. This assignment causes Riley to convert into, portraying negative behaviors, she's doing things that she wouldn't normally do. She starts stressing out her friends, and stuff goes down. She does things. Now, I'm gonna get into a more detailed description of this scenario on my blog, and if any of you are watching this video today, you're also going to be able to go to my website and read the article, because I will go into more depth and I will put some more meaning into it and more reflection, but I'll leave a link down below and you can go look. The thing about it is that in this one TV episode, there were 5 hidden deeper meanings. One was when they're, and this is my reflection, hashtag Stuff Rare says, my reflection. From this episode, I reflected. Where there is abundance, there is also a lack of appreciation for the lack thereof. So, when there's abundance, there's less appreciation. When there is only one, when you realize the value of the one. She then tried to argue that it was the people are evil. She saw some stuff going on in the world, and her friend opens this laptop, shows her what's headlines that are going on today in the world, and Riley straight up looks at her Riley looks at her and, with a pained and saddened expression, asks, "Where is this?" And her friend, bottom line, this is our world. You know, like that's what her reply was, and it hits the viewer like a bag of nails, or like a bag of rocks, because it's deep, it's hard hitting, and it makes you think like, this is our world today. And she focuses on poverty, climate change, and war. That's the main synopsis of the entire episode, is the war, creating war, starting wars, and other things like that. Well, as a reflection of this episode, there's lines like towards the end, once they go through this whole, you know, her being bad and her proving, she gets up there on that podium, and they're up there on that podium, and they're arguing. She's arguing why people are evil. She wins, and you'll see why in my post, because I can't remember offhand, but she wins. And I will tell you her argument in my article. Corey tells her, you know, every day we wake up with the choice to be bad or evil. And that choice determines who we are. And Maya, her best friend, says, "How do we know which one we are?" And Corey turns to her and says, "That's the only debate that matters. Because one person can argue either side and present their side beautifully. But at the end of the day, that choice is the only debate that matters." And that, quite frankly, was the most beautiful episode I've ever seen, just because of those concepts. But it really makes you think, like, every day, you know, anger, hatred, greed, war, poverty, climate change, like, you know, she focused on. I think choices get made, and then we let that determine the nature of our character. You want to see me just pop up every Tuesday with something inspirational? Let me know, because I'm already ingrained to do something like that every Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Please subscribe. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up down below. And remember, live, love, and enjoy. You only get one shot. Make it count. It's raining now.